And there was a compromise that was reached. But in the same vein of Nigerian being too emotional with things, the Babas in the opposition, they started telling Fubara not to agree. Do this one, do that one. And Fubara took the wrong advice. You cannot govern a state that has a House of Assembly with just 3 members of the House. That means you are disenfranchising the other 27 elected members. You are disenfranchising their constituencies of their contribution to the state. You understand me? And now, because you are disenfranchising them, you are not running a complete government, because all the 3 arms of government must function for the states to be truly functional. Now, Fubara showed his hand early. The fight started. The members, until they have been duly registered in another political party, are not members of that political party. And that is what the Supreme Court has finally come out to clarify. Do you understand me? Somebody, while you were fighting, another person was tackling it from the aspect of the law. And don't forget, the law, the interpretation of the law, the final interpretation of the law lies in the hands of the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court has given its verdict that those people still remain a part of the House of Assembly. And now they are in the majority. Whether you like it or not, you have to be very careful what you do if you are fighting. You understand me? Now, Fubara, the members are now asking you to come and that all those your 2024 budget was not submitted to them, that you need to come and clarify issues and all those stuff. And you went ahead to grant a press statement saying that the youth should stand by, that when it's time, you will instruct them on what to do. That is a wrong statement to make. Whether you have the support of the whole world, those statements, you don't make them. You don't. Because whether you like it or not, the moment there is a destruction of government facility, which does not belong to the states, it is the federal government. You are calling for the intervention of the federal government into your state. If he is suspended for 6 months, what does he gain? He gains nothing. He gains nothing. Is it too late to come back to the table now to discuss? That is what we don't know. That is what we don't know. So, Femi Aderoba said he sent a request again. Now, when we talk about these things, this new generation, they will abuse you, they will say everything. But the truth is, your emotion does not interpret the law. The law works based on logic. Whether you like it or not, I always tell people, the law is not always fair. It is he who can interpret the law better that wins cases. He who can provide the right evidence wins cases. Does it mean that the person is true, that judgment of the law is always justified? No. No. We need to get the point. These people claim to have defected. They are not yet registered to another party. The governor has started dancing to the market. Even your biggest of politicians that claim to be saints today were once a part of the system that interpreted laws according to what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing today. Atiku was the vice president to Obasanjo when they declared state of emergency in Ekiti and Jos. That's Plateau State. He was there. What did he do? I remember one of the other leading candidates, Mr. Peter Obi, was accused of trying to be a godfather to Obiano. That it's even in the papers that Obiano was saying Peter Obi, he accused Peter Obi that Peter Obi asked him to come and pay back 7.5 billion, which he spent on him during election. Every politician always want to become a godfather when they leave that position. Even in Lagos today, when Fashola was going to leave, he wanted, was it Shashure, to become replacement. But it is a game of wit. Who knows how to play the game best? You know, you said something. You were talking about Jerry Rawlings. There are certain things that can no longer happen in our generation.
It can't, because the same people that want it, people that will cry, that is human.
When it happens, if today Tinubu is there any of us who doesn't know a politician or the other?
Hi, Seyi.
Go into chaos. The people who will fight dirty. Hello, can you hear me? That phrase.
Hear you clearly.
Okay. I said if we descend into chaos today and we decide to fight dirty, the people who will suffer are not even the politician. It is just anybody who people view to be doing better than them that they will start attacking because they believe that you're a beneficiary of the system. But when you say these things, people don't understand. They think somebody will just wake up. You think he will just wake up and get into a politician's house? He would have built some form of defense around himself. How many of you have visa to run out? The people you think that you will harm might have been long gone before you even start your chaos. You know? And so people need to understand that we must share emotion and begin to think logically and do things the right way. If you want to change a system, who are you putting forward? What part are you towing to change that system? Now, every time something happens, people begin to tilt towards lawlessness. Let me use the case of the young lady the NYSC young lady as an example. But she made statements that are truly of concern to everybody. Of course, is NYSC
young lady which young lady is that?
The NYSC, the core member.
Oh, fantastic. I like this part.
You see, the young lady, the NYSC, the core member, the truth is this, whether you like it or not, the moment you sign up to be a core member, you have joined a paramilitary. And there are rules and guidelines that you must follow. And one of it is that you cannot criticize the country that you are serving. That is one of the law. Not so much so that you decided to criticize. You didn't just criticize, you did a video to that effect. And not just doing a video to that effect, you were called by the people who are supervising you to bring down the video, and you interpreted it as a threat. Now, did she make valid points? in a video. Of course, we know that by now, after the increase in minimum wage, we expected that they would have implemented the 77,000 payment, allow it to copper. We expected that they should have done it, but you are not, because of the oath that you signed up to. You should not be. There are ways that we get people to do our biddings without us doing it. Now, the people are cheering her up. They even went ahead to release the number of the coordinator that called her, and people are calling to bully that woman. The fight will die down on social media. The day that she's supposed to pass out, we wait what will happen. And then at that time, will people go and beat up the head of NYSC to force his hand to give her certificate? These are the things that people don't put into consideration. When we fight, like I said earlier, we must learn to fight right and take things from the right perspective. Don't be too emotional. I understand the emotion. People are angry. Before today, there are people who have been more angry than we are today. Today, General Ibrahim Babangida came out to say that Abiola truly won the 1993 election. But guess what?
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, guess what? The people who have died in that struggle, for the struggle of 1993, those who have died, there is no compensation that you will give today that they will benefit from.
Close that door. Don't you understand English? Come first. Continue what you are saying.
You understand? There is no compensation that you will give today that those people will eat from. The people who will even eat it if you decide to give to anybody in their family, you understand, might not have even contributed or supported those people in that struggle. So don't go and hide a needless pie because, you understand, because you are too emotional. If you want to fight a system, it is a structure that has been built over the years. You need to understand how to build your own structure. And that structure means that you have a lot of places to infiltrate. The same way Labour Party was infiltrated in the last election is the same way the people from Labour Party need to know how to infiltrate certain places. If you don't know how to do it, your fight might just be baseless. And you said something about 2027. 2027 is long gone. It's the truth that some people will not like to hear.
Is anybody still attempting it? When you understand Nigerian politics, and you understand African politics, and you understand global politics, you will not be sentimental. Now, that NYSC girl, she might not need the NYSC certificate. And just like Showore never got his NYSC certificate, she too will never get the NYSC certificate or might struggle to get it. Does not mean she will not go where she's going in life. And
it doesn't mean that she won't succeed.
They do it so that they can get asylum abroad. Many people don't understand that a lot of activists, the only person that I know that did not do activism for asylum is Showore, because he's inside this place with us. Many people who do activism, so that
NSAS people, many of them, they are abroad now.
Apply for, what's that thing called? asylum, they will say that their life is under threat in the country. So they will approve the asylum for them. Many people do it. I don't want to mention names, but if you can use your tongue to count your teeth, look back. Where is it feminist agenda? There's one agenda, I've forgotten what they call, movement, that made over $1 million on Twitter.
Femco.
Chena Femco,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Where the woman that was leading Black Lives Matter in the US. Did you follow her story? How much money she paid?
The houses she bought.
And what she used the money for? Me too.
Movement.
You see, only a stupid person would think that a white Jesus will come and buy for a black man. Behind every movement, there is a perceived motivation and there is a true motivation.
There is a financial motivation for some people.
Motivation, a political motivation, a power motivation behind. But you see, they will never. Let me just always remember this. I'm a married man. I meet this very beautiful 28-year-old unmarried girl who is doing well, and I want to sleep with her. You think I will tell her I'm married? Unless I really don't care about sleeping with her. But if to say I look and say, this girl, I must knock her. But that thing where she want here, now I go tell her. Now when we not finish, now I tell her, say, well, there were some things that I didn't really tell you. Apply that logic to every sphere of your political life. If someone came to tell you that this movement that I want to fight is because I need asylum, will you answer them? If somebody
that freeze, before you even go far, today Ukraine is in chaos. How much did they say America has sent to Ukraine? How much did the president of Ukraine say he got?
70-something billion. They only got 70-something billion, and you are telling me that America is better than Nigeria? America is 300 years older than us. They have fine-tuned what we are doing now with mud and bricks. They are fine-tuning. They are doing it with wire.
That the freeze, who started the not proving of security fund? It started from the United States. Today, security funds is one of the places where politicians eat. Allegedly. So when we tell people that we should be careful of the way we allow our emotions to play us, they will say,
you need to understand, just like the single girl will not allow the married man to sleep with her, the same way the people will not allow you to use their head unless you come forward some sort of emotional or sentimental theatrical that can minister to their inward self. Right now, what are the things the global market is using to play sentiment and emotions? 1, women's rights. 2, religion. 3, human rights in general. These are the little that politicians will play on, knowing that Nigerians have either one of 2 things, low IQ or amnesia. And that was one of the things I always had for Peter Obi. During the Abacha tenure, I was in university. Me on Shomode, I get girlfriend. You understand? As a matter of fact, woman, they live with me. In my big queue, where I was staying on Paul Hendricks Road in Ibadan, Bodija, Ibadan. My babe then was living with me. I'm not too young to understand politics. During that, Shayla, bear me witness. You heard of Nadeko, Abi?
Yes.
Mention some people that you know who were in Nadeko.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Kayode Fayemi, Pa Abraham, all them after the one. Today party
What
told me.
happened to Abani?
He was long gone now. One of the men from our church, one of the men from my church then, from CAC 83 Lagos Street, Ebutemeta, Pa Olu Onogorua, when they were going to make him the Chief Justice of Nigeria, they warned. People told him not to take the position. He did. His first son went for it. Today, El Rufai has joined SDP. And guess what? One of the so-called perpetrator of the evil of 1998, with all the pie and all those stuff, one of the alleged perpetrator, Al-Haji Al-Hamzat Mustafa, allegedly is now a part of SDP. And that is the party you want to use to take power from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think Showore was also part of Nadeko. I think so.
Yes. Showore was, during the burial of Abiola, you needed to see Showore in his full form. But the only problem I probably have with the Showore of today.
Sorry, let me, I want to. Now, okay. Tinubu, Rwani, Fayemi,
Abraham Adesanya.
All of them were fighting who?
It was Abacha now.
Now, who worked with Abacha?
Peter Obi.
So, when I was in the university, there was an uprising among the people who believed that Nigeria did not deserve to be where it was. And I remember during the military regime, how hard things were in Nigeria. And all these
we have not forgotten sawdust stove now.
They all came together to fight what they perceived as a common evil, while the Peter Obi that you are celebrating today walked with that evil or that perceived evil. It is worrying. That is why I said, is either your IQ is low or you have amnesia. How can you how Alfred Ruwani was taken out? How can you forget that Tinubu ran into exile? How can you forget what happened to Showore? But that person that these all people gathered to quarrel with, the person that you think will save Nigeria was working with them.
No,
it has always.
The truth is, if you state this thing, if you state this thing that it freeze, they will abuse you because they don't want anything to tarnish the image of their perceived Messiah. And if we decide to go deep, people will say, why are you campaigning after election? You understand? That is why sometimes I just keep quiet and I don't say some certain things.
Seyi,
you see, there was a time somebody was arguing with me.
Nadeko was what made me vote for Showore and support Showore. And I said, if Showore does not enter, I will follow any Nadeko member because I know what they did when we were in university and Nigeria was in the brink of. We no believe that Nigeria will survive.
See, Daddy Freeze there.
some people they behind that. We quarrel. We put their lives on the line.
See that the freeze. One of the thing is this. One of the thing is this, is that these young people think that every politician is fighting for them. Becoming the president of Nigeria is an individual ambition. It is an individual ambition. Leave all this plenty talk. Where would they talk? It is not. I want to become the president tomorrow. It's not because of you. It's my personal ambition. How I use that ambition for the people, you understand, is now left with me.
Someone said Showore was not part of Nadeco, but he fought. That's what I said. I was not sure of whether he was part or not. But Showore was part of.
He might not be part of the Nadeco group, but he was one of those students who stood up.
I was in uni.
And he was counted. He was counted. Somebody said Tinubu is there for personal ambition. Whether you like it or not, he can now do things to one of the you see, God, people, allegedly that the freeze, because this word allegedly we go use that tire. Boris Johnson allegedly created the highest number of millionaires in pounds during the COVID era. What people don't know is that politicians look for loophole in policies to enrich themselves and their cronies. You understand what I'm saying? So when they make laws, who are the biggest beneficiaries of those laws? How well do we scrutinize our laws before they are passed? How many people ask in this life today? How many people ever tune in to join the debates or listen to the debate on the tax reform? Ask our young people today. Ask our young people today. This is something that will impact the whole nation. Yeah. Ask them today. How many of them have tuned in to listen to the tax reform bill?
Few.
At the moment one person who you are all following comes on to tweet about it, you all start dancing. You just swallow it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. I agree.
When the first subsidy regime was introduced at the freeze, it was to benefit the masses. But what happened at the long run? It became a tool for financing elections in Nigeria. Go and search that the freeze. I'm telling you, go and search the history of subsidy payments. You will see that we pay more subsidy during election period than any other time.
Yes. Why? Because
why?
Have you ever heard of what?
Round tripping of dollar, which is used to finance election. That it frees these people. If we talk, they go abuse us. But the truth is, we need to educate them in our own little way. We will take the abuse. I don't support Asiwaju already. You understand? So if you abuse me, it doesn't matter. But the truth is, more they tell them the truth small. Make them they understand, see, that they fight for another person's ambition, not necessarily for themselves. You see, today, I saw a post. Somebody talked about Brazil bringing $8 billion investments to the Nigerian agricultural sector. And I saw a comment there. And the comment said, now then go share the money, go chop them. And I said, look at the young people that we are arguing with in this Nigeria. Not knowing that when you talk about investment, it is not a fund that you give to government, but you invest to make profit. Do you understand? So when you look at the level of their interpretation of things, you begin to wonder, how will they even understand when things are working for them and when things are not working for them? Before now, we used to have dollar being pegged, and we all thought we were enjoying it. That the freeze. My wife left Nigeria to school in the UK in 2019. You understand me? Left Nigeria to school in the UK in 2019. Asiwaju has not even decided to come out for presidency. Now, at that time, we had pegged, the exchange rate was pegged. We will feel from A to get money from the bank to be able to pay school fees. You will wait and wait and wait and wait, and you will be frustrated till you go and change money in the black market. But somehow, some people were getting that money, that exchange rate pegged from CBN. You understand? And they were spending our collective resources. Now, people don't understand what it means. That when that money was pegged, that means for every dollar that you get at the pegged rate, Nigeria was paying 300 naira. So imagine at that time that they said Dangote took a loan from CBN of 3-point-something billion. That means Nigeria has paid
half.
That means Nigeria has paid 300 times 3-point-something billion. That is over 9 billion, 900 billion naira that Nigeria has paid on behalf of Dangote. That pegging of the dollar, how much did you enjoy inside it? That time Buhari did the anchor borrowers project for agriculture. You know what these people were doing? They will simply go and collect this dollar, and instead of investing it in farming, in agriculture, they just do round tripping and just spend that money. Now, the reality of it is that the removal of fuel subsidy and the floating of the dollar, of the exchange rate, is what we are suffering in Nigeria today. Because if some people are not taking undue advantage of it, those things will still remain. And people don't understand that if an Asiwaju or a Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to really chop money, it is through the pegging of the dollar that you can usually do it.
Okay.
People don't understand. If you tell people, they will say, what is it talking about? Because somebody like me that know people in this government, if the dollar was pegged, that is freeze. If I can get $1 million from CBN, that is freeze, that means I'm almost 300 million naira rich instantly. I don't even need to leave my house.
Okay, let me let you finish, because I want to say something.
You know,
are you done, sir?
So I'll just round up on that and say that I am not saying that we have a perfect government right now. I am not saying that people are not going through pains. I am not saying that things have settled the way we want it to be. I am saying that as much as you want to criticize, try as much as possible to understand what you are fighting against. Make sure that you are not fighting another man's ambitions fight instead of the true reality of what you deserve as a people.
Okay. I listen to every bit of your narration, and if I must be honest, one thing I appreciate in your comment is that can we level up to a level whereby we can have an interactive conversation? Can we argue with ourselves without calling ourselves name or eating on ourselves? Honestly, I'm fully in support of that. We should be able to argue, state things, because I love how you listed everything. I love how you educated us 100%, and I even love how you are bold enough to even associate with who you support. And I believe that the Constitution does not limit anybody to declare who they support. But Egbo, there is one thing. You're a rich man. Daddy Freeze is a rich man. People like us.
Glory and mercy.
I am enjoying God's grace. Let's just
Okay.
put it like that.
You are enjoying God's grace abundantly. But
Bros, I they change naira to pounds to send to the UK. And I mean, no, where the shoe they pinch me
you
for
are
leg. But we
enjoying God
thank
abundantly
God.
now. She be that person up. We get money, go still exchange money. Some people they cannot even exchange £1, £1 to 1,800 naira. They no get. Now, in all honesty, I agree with you that floating of the naira was one of the best things any president can do. If we are going to be honest with ourselves and we don't want to go political about it, because I love that example you give. Imagine exchange rate is 600 naira, the government is paying 300 naira. So for every loan other business owners are taking in the country, the government will be paying 300 naira per it. That means that we are losing more than we are gaining while defending the naira. Yes, it was a perfect explanation. But you see, the only place I have difference of thought is that I was believing that a president that understands the nation will not implement two harsh policies at the same time. That's where it came from. A president that loves the nation will not implement two harsh policies at the same time. Yes, they have floated the naira. Kudos to them. But the subsidy that they removed, I think the timing was totally wrong. Why I said the timing was totally wrong is that you and I agree with me that now God bless you that we have solar panels on your roof. Now people like you, we get money, will be living in Lekki where they give them 24 hours, a light 24 hours. That if he don't tell her, he said, now 10 seconds, they always switch off his lights. And after 10 seconds, they go bring out the light. But people where they live in trenches or outside Lagos, some people know more than 2 hours in a day. In fact, if some people even get like 2 hours, they will even go to testimony church. Now, what it means? It means that an average man in Nigeria is depending on oil, petroleum, to actually fuel his car, to fuel his generator. Even when he gets to business again, he will still buy fuel. So that automatically means that what is really the major dividend of democracy for common Nigerian is actually the oil subsidy. I feel like President Bola should actually have maybe waited for a while, maybe 2 years, and ensure that we have at least one refinery, if not two, working, and is strong enough to have the capacity to actually supply us the fuel that we needed. Then by that time, they can remove the subsidy. Look at what happened now. Dangote, I think you must have read the news today. Dangote, as of today, Dangote said they are now going to be selling their oil in dollars. A refinery situated in Nigeria, a refinery we are all clamoring for that it should exist. It now says that they will be selling their oil in dollar. That automatically means that they are even technically dollarizing the economy for us. Yet, Tinubu government will tell us that we should not dollarize the economy. Everything.
Before you continue, sorry, can I say something? Because I don't want to forget my line of thought. You see, first of all, you need to know that where Dangote refinery is situated, is a free trade zone.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I agree
And
with
he can sell his oil in dollar,
you. Okay.
because oil is an international market stuff, and the
Okay.
pricing is not determined by Nigeria, first of
Okay.
all. And secondly, what I wanted to say, you see, there was no other better time to remove fuel subsidy. I will explain. Please
Right.
don't. I know people in Nigeria who got licenses to build refinery from Obasanjo's time. But the reason they didn't build is because they were chopping subsidy money. Instead of building refinery, they all went to build tank farms. Go and find out this thing that I'm telling you. A lot of Nigerians don't understand this thing. A lot of them that got the license went ahead to build tank farms. And they were importing instead of refining.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? It was easy money. Subsidy money was easy money. If subsidy was not stopped, I swear to God Almighty, these refineries that you see in Nigeria that have started working in parts, the Port Harcourt refinery, the Warri refinery, they will not work. I am telling you that. We will keep doing turnaround maintenance. If I told you there's certain things we can't talk about, what Asiwaju did to make sure that these refineries that are working, that they started working. Ha, Baba.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The
Because I
first,
haven't finished my line of thought before you know, and the reason why I said there was no better time to remove the fuel subsidy. Let's go back to the petroleum industrial bill. Do you know that the petroleum industrial bill stood in the National Assembly for 20 years before it was passed?
yes, it took
That
long.
means
Yeah.
what we could have done 20 years ago, what we could have done and benefited 20 years ago, we couldn't do it because we were waiting for the right time, and the best time passed us by. Look at the gains of the petroleum industrial bills today. A lot of the foreign oil companies are being bought over by Nigerian companies and are employing Nigerians. Now let us now look at part of the reason why there was no other better time to have removed the fuel subsidy. Look at the tax reform bill. Look at what happened in the north after the tax reform bill came outside, where there was a sharing formula that the people that generate more should spend more. Somebody like me, who is from Ondo State, we are number 32 in terms of tax generation. See, that tax reform bill, if they had left it the way the presidency wanted it, it would have made my state to sit up and look for ways to make more money than waiting for federal allocation. But today, we have changed the tax reform bill and it has come down. And some leaders, some governors will sit down and still feel relaxed. Because truly, if you were to make your state generate more money, you understand me? If you want your state to generate more money, if VAT was being shared to the people that generate more, you understand me? For you to generate more tax, more VAT, you will need your state to be peaceful so that people can come there and build, people can come there and live and spend money. if they had allowed that tax to go the way the president wanted it to, I bet it a lot of insecurity will stop.
Let me ask,
People don't see all those things. They just hear the noise from the opposition who are not providing solution, just attacking. When the likes of Chief Obafemi Awolowo were in opposition, when they criticize policies, they bring out their own ideas of what they think should work. Don't just criticize for criticizing sake.
Okay, let me ask
Profile solution.
Let me ask you a question further. Thank you for mentioning. Now, don't forget that the president today, when Jonathan was there and was Tinubu was the first person to actually argue against the removal of subsidy in 2011. If you remember very well, Pastor was the seconder of the motion against it. Now, if Bola Ahmed argue against removal of subsidy 12 years ago, when things were still booming and things were working well, now, why are you not defending it now? The same president who said subsidy should not be removed has now removed subsidy, and yet you are defending the removal of the subsidy. So why?
Okay, let me say something. Daddy Freeze, in 2012, when I did my first show at Muson Center, January 1st. Today, Alibaba does January 1st. I was the first person to do a show January 1st, 2012. That was the day that Jonathan announced fuel subsidy removal. It affected my show that day. But you know what? When Nigerians were clamoring that fuel subsidy should not go and they gathered in Ojota, I always tell this story. Hopefully, maybe channels will have a clip of me that day on the stage in Ojota. I said we shouldn't do the bidding of politicians. That instead of us to say fuel subsidy should not go, that we should ask them that if you stop fuel subsidy, where are they going to channel the money that will be saved from subsidy into? I said these are the questions we should ask. And I remember the late Yinka Odumakin came on stage and collected the microphone for me and said, what I'm saying is not what the people want to hear. You understand me? He collected the microphone. He said, what I'm saying is not what the people want to hear. And I said, no problem. They chased me off the stage because I wasn't speaking in line with the politicians' bidding. Rather, in fact, that day, Idris Abdul Karim came on stage and he was saying, it no go better for the bank. Those people who vote for Jonathan, they're not there yet today, no go better. And I said, and I remember I came on stage and I said, Idris, we not come here to swear for ourselves. We are here to talk to government. If you remove subsidy, what are you going to do with the money that you will save from it? Now, people don't understand the reason why Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu kicked against fuel subsidy removal. And I will give you a little bit of background. As at that time that they were going to stop fuel subsidy removal, Nigeria was losing about $7 billion annually to oil theft. Go and find out. If you cannot secure the oil production, how do you then stop fuel subsidy? And how do you generate more money when you are producing below par? You are not even meeting OPEC's quota.
But it's still declining to date.
No,
the production has
no. Today, the only reason that where we have a decline in our oil exploration is because of the pipeline that were just bombed. 2 pipelines have been bombed in 2 days, which is part of the thing that led to the state of emergency. Let's be frank. Under Tinubu, we have generated up to 1.7 million barrel a day. Yes, now go and check. If you think I'm lying, go and check. Hold on now. Go and let me. Let's go and check our export and imports. Our data of export and import. If you notice, for the first time in Nigeria, for the first time, we are right now we are having trade surplus. Despite the fact that, hold on now, despite the fact that we have Jonathan, who under his administration, we had a high, crude was selling at a high price. You understand me? For the first time in this country, we're having trade surplus. And I'll tell you another thing, because we need to know. Don't forget, somebody said our production is low. They forget that what we are sending international, we are also selling to Dangote in Naira. These are the things that you need to consider. Don't forget that Buhari allegedly has sold forward our crude. So if we don't generate more, how do we give to Dangote?
But what I'm now saying is that even from the days of Buhari,
No,
crude oil production has been declining from the days of Buhari till date.
No, it's not declining. It is not declining.
Privately. Can I privately?
I said right now, we are producing more. And don't forget, we need to when we look at things, we need to put things into perspective. Why was this state of emergency needed? You start bombing oil pipeline. Hold on. You start bombing oil pipeline. Don't forget that they are trying to mediate. America is trying to mediate in the war between Russia and Ukraine. And the moment that war comes to an end, crude production from Ukraine and Russia will flood into the market. And the moment this thing flood into the market, there will be crash in oil price. Do you know that?
Well, yes, I know that, of
you
course.
I know there will be crash in the oil price. And all these other things that we are still enjoying. This one, that food is expensive, that one is expensive. Let the war in Ukraine settle down, and Ukrainians can go back to the farm. Who produce the highest number of grain?
No, they are the one. So that one is obvious.
Ukraine produce the highest number of grain. All this one that our farmer, they are selling grain, they are selling maize at this price now. They are enjoying. They are forgetting that one day Ukraine will come back into the market.
Honestly, one thing I noticed from your conversation, I said I enjoy your conversation, but there is, you will argue with government and you will argue successfully. It is a very difficult job. It's going to be a difficult job to argue with government people and argue successfully. However, whether you are in government or you are supporting the government or not, one thing I know that remains the fact, while I support every of your argument, is that number one of the reasons why we needed refinery in Nigeria, yes, I agree that Dangote refinery is actually located in the free trade zone. I agree. He can sell whatsoever he likes, and however, so he must be able to. So I agree. We got is to number one, reduce our dependence on dollars. Number two, to ensure that we are not even exporting more crude oil, rather we are selling, making cost of production to be low. So one thing is that President Bola Ahmed become the president, then we have a refinery, and that refinery going back to selling dollars. It has already. Oh, you cannot hear me. My audio is not. Please,
you were breaking at some point.
Please, can you mute your mic, sir, so that I can. I will not be breaking now. Now that the refinery is now selling in dollar. Honestly, if we go through the concept of smart goal, that particular smart goal has been defeated if Dangote is selling in dollars. I agree with you. I said I agree the free trade zone, and I also agree that Dangote has to actually pay in dollars. But the national goal of us having a refinery is because of the fact that we want to alleviate the burden of buying fuel expensively. That is it. Now, number two, I disagree with you in the crude export of a thing. Because that clearly on my system, I supposed to have even published it yesterday. Was Rivers. It was Rivers' case that did not make me to publish that data. I could have published it yesterday, but I changed it to another thing, which I will do it tonight. The trend of our crude oil generation and the trend of what's it called, of our exportation started declining from the days of Buhari. And because of that, I will not really agree with you that yesterday vandalism is the sole reason why we are now having issue with our production. Now, the point there is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not really been trying when it's even come to national security. Now, when it comes to this vandalism of a thing, he has not been trying. Atiku would have done it better. Even if Obi has partnered with Atiku, I know you want to go take me there, but just agree that Atiku would have done it better. Just agree. Now, if you look at our security, we year over year, we know how many people they disappear per day, and it has not been declining. It has rather been increasing since Urban City Boy has become the president. So I don't really agree with you that the vandalism of yesterday is even strong enough to to suspend Fubara. The only reason why I have to, agree with your analysis against Fubara is one thing, is because of the root cause analysis. The law of power says that you cannot outshine your master. Fubara was trying to outshine his master, and that was why he gets into the problem he gets today. If Fubara has played the card appropriately, he would never enter the error. However, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did yesterday, he raised a lot of questions about our democracy. It raises a lot of questions. It means that our president is more autocratic. And I'm sorry, I can be corrected, and you can argue with me. I can be honest with you. Our president is fast becoming Wike puppet. Our president is fast becoming Wike puppet. You know the reason why I will say it, me, I'm not in NYSC. That girl, she did NYSC. That's why she get problem. But me, I know the NYSC. So I can say that our president is becoming Wike puppet. What is happening in Rivers, or what has happened in Rivers? It is not new. It has happened even in Lagos. I remember that even while Ambode Saga was there, Baba Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the city boy, was very calm and he handled Ambode case strategically. Even Obasa case, the recent case of Obasa, we know how our great Bola Ahmed Tinubu even handled Obasa case without really destroying the entire Lagos. Let's even go to Edo. We know how Obaseki, Buhari, etc. What happened in Rivers is what happened during Obaseki versus Oshiomhole case now. So the vandalism case you are telling us is as good as you are just being political. And I wouldn't want to really say anything because, of course, you are going to defend what you support. One thing I appreciate in your story, one thing, I appreciate the fact that you said during 2011, you said you were going to ask Jonathan, when they remove subsidy, what will they use it for? That indirectly give me a sign that you have actually been a pro-subsidy remover, even before Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All what you are needing is accountability. If they remove the subsidy, what are they going to actually use the money for? So therefore, in the area of subsidy remover, honestly, any question I have against you, I drop it because I can see that you have an ideology around subsidy remover. But honestly, so because you are in government, I will beg you to help us deliver 3 messages. Number 1, we will not get money to enter your show with a suffer. We never chop since money. Help us tell President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to help our life. Number 1. Number 2, we will go school. Our life is beyond 30,000 naira. Empower. Our life is beyond youth empowerment scheme of Seyi Tinubu giving us 1 sachet of rice. So help us tell Baba at the top that we have many graduates in this country. He should ensure that he is able to provide system that will bring more graduates in. That's number 2. Number 3, help us tell our Baba Bola Ahmed Tinubu that 2027 is real. The magic he used in 2023 may not work in 2027. You know why? Because Obi has realized his mistake. And Obi is coming. And if Obi come back home and Atiku decide to go and compete against Baba Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and El Rufai decide to collapse the structure. Honestly, I'm very sure that in 2037, I will be glad to see my Oga. I will really be glad to see him now be in opposition. I really want to see how it feels like to be in opposition, because I can see that